The following may contain language which will be offensive to some people and inappropriate for children. Still here? Then pour your favorite beverage and let's get this fucking show started.
Larry's muted.
You're still muted.
Why am I still muted? What happened? Did I mute myself?
Yeah.
Okay, must be good. That's so weird. Fantastic Forum, assemble. You are watching Fantastic Forum, the premier show about comic books and your live weekly conversation about entertainment and geek culture. We are the Fantastic Forum, coming to you live and direct from the Hall of F. Hope you're having a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, or night, as the case may be, depending on where you are in the world. And if you're not, you should stick with us. We'll help you take it up a notch. You have the usual suspects in the building. First, he is our riddle inside of an enigma trapped in Chinese finger cuffs. You don't know him. You love him anyway. He's our silent assassin, Jay.
Hey, what's up?
What's up, indeed? Next, he is our intrepid senior reporter. He's next in line for the cowl. He is our resident Dark Knight detective. It's Oz.
Yeah. Oh, I have no alcohol.
Yeah. Oh, no. Look.
You're going to get infected. You're going to get
Crisis averted. Oh, no. Is that alcohol? What is that?
That's cranberry juice. He's on his
Oh, okay. There it is.
That's my alcohol.
Got it. Keeps him regular.
See, I use wine as a mixer, unlike you soda people.
Right. Next, we have the backbone, the pillar, the strength of Fantastic Forum, our nigh invulnerable brawler and resident strongman, Moses Magnum.
I am he.
You are he. You look so cold.
It's
you
cold
are
here.
he.
He. Yeah.
I mean,
no, it's
okay.
cold, man. Like, I mean, I'm not like. I know we don't have a polar vortex here, but
right.
When I was like reading the comics and shit, like getting ready for the show, like I feel like I didn't feel cold, but my toes were cold and my nose was cold. I felt like the little like Dalmatian. It's like my feet are cold and my toes are cold and my nose is cold. It's like, but I'm like, dude, like, yeah, it is cold. Like I just don't feel it, but I'm like, I don't want my core temperature to drop and me get sick too. Like, can't be dealing with that shit right now.
Right.
So I'm wearing my Christmas present serape.
Got it. That's
Emily
cool.
got me. Yeah.
No, that's very nice. It's very nice indeed. Welcome to Fantastic Forum, folks. We got a great show for you today. We are going to be talking to you all about Detective Comics 1090. So we'll be talking to you about that, as well as talking to you all about You Won't Feel a Thing #1. So we got 2 great reviews for you. If we have the time, we'll mess with some news. And of course, we'll talk to you all about whatever else it is that you all want to talk about. But and we'll tell you how to do that in just a moment. But before we do, we want to make sure that we thank Mr. Scott Rubin, because without him, this show would not exist. So thank you, Scott Rubin. Hope all is well with you, good sir. And yeah, I guess we can go ahead and let's have the intern and do their thing.
Want to get in on the action? Call Fantastic Forum on Skype and join the fun. Too shy to call in? That's okay. You can join the Discord chat room available at
fantasticforum.live.
Join the party. You know you want to.
There it is. So yeah, fantasticforum.live. You can go ahead and hit the call-in button if you want to be the 5th member of Fantastic Forum. That can happen. Also, if you decide that, okay, maybe calling in, being on the show is a little much, you just want to chime in here and there, you can also do that in chat, either through YouTube or through Twitch. We'll take your comments directly out of chat and bring them into the show, such as Jay. Insert a witty chat comment here. Good, sir.
Hexzilla says I'm also cold.
There it is. Shout out to Hexzilla. Feeling your pain, Moses. Feeling your pain. No, Mo's like, I'm out. He's like, I don't like when people feel my pain. feels too close. It's okay. I'm sure he'll be back when he warms up. Oh, there it is.
Yeah. I was having technical notes. I have a separate producer that you guys don't know about.
Oh, got it. Oh, Mo's out here taking things to another level. He's like, let me double produce my end of the show.
Shadow.
Shadow production.
Yeah. He also runs Tesla and SpaceX.
There it is. So, but yeah, man. So yeah, let us know what you want to talk about. We'll be around. In the meantime, we're gonna mess around, do our thing, fellas. You all are feeling decent this week outside of being a little chilled, which I mean, again, cold is all relative, right? It's like it can be cold for LA. I know that, I know that it was considered chilly where I was this past week in the Dominican Republic, and that joint, like, it was a balmy, like 75 degrees or something like that. They're like, oh my God, it's so cold. And I was like, this is what cold feels like to you. I was like, okay. Like, that is crazy.
I'm happy to let you back in. Like,
Hey, listen, by the grace of God, listen, all they had to do was listen to my Spanish, and they were like, oh no, he's like, doesn't matter what I look like. I don't sound like I'm from the
do your best reggaeton.
Right. It's like I lack the accent.
Like,
and
hey, mommy, and then like, that's it. Like, all right, let's send them back. We don't want them here.
But no, man, trust me, there was plenty of people that were definitely trying to mess around and give me local discounts in Spanish, and then the disappointment on their face when I'm like, oh, like, so I 100%, like, I came away like, you know what, man, I need to get with Mo and
man,
like literally learn Spanish, because
I'll teach you how to be a cunning linguist.
There it is. Because cats were like, dude, one guy was like, sir, I have a question. He's like, why you look like me? That's what he just says. Like, why you look like me?
Cousin.
And I was looking at him like, dude, the dude does look like me too. You're right. Like, you're like, we look like we could totally,
He's
because
like,
it's easy.
Do you ever get mistaken by Cedric the Entertainer? Heck, like, how many times did you say no Nintendo?
Look, first of all, I never say no Nintendo. I'm always yes Nintendo. No. Everyone knows that about me. No. But yeah, that is
see Nintendo.
See Nintendo. Oh, it's too funny, man. But yeah, man, crazy. But anyway, what else? Look, I'm sitting here like, I feel like we were going. Oh, we were talking about cold. That's what it was. And so, but Luke, like, Oz, what's the temperature where you're at right now?
It's warm right now. It's 36.
See, look, there it is, right? He's like, look, it's wonderful right now.
Ask me last week, it was negative something.
Right. Yeah. It's not even freezing. I know. And so,
like, I could hear his butt cheeks rubbing against each other during the show last week. Because I asked him early on before you got on, I'm like, man, how you doing with the vortex? It's like, it's not so much like his work told him not to move, like, just stand still. He's like, don't touch anything, because as long as this is running, everybody will be fine. Just like, don't touch
we're
anything.
Printing money and nobody's gonna die tonight.
Right. So don't touch any buttons.
There it is. There it is. So cool, man. Well, listen, I hope everyone out there is able to stay warm, stay the temperature they would prefer to be at. So, and if not,
we'll help you take it up a notch.
Ask. Listen, I was gonna say, ask for help, because Lord knows it's like, dude, I don't want folks out here to be
no
chilly. There's no. He's like, there's no help. Help doesn't exist anymore. Yeah. End of help.
All help is frozen.
There it is. Okay, well, listen. You guys ready to do some comic book reviews?
If we must.
Comic book
Review.
Like,
Review.
well, not like that, but like,
All right, first on the docket, we'll be doing Detective Comics.
Real quick,
1090.
real quick. Did you guys hear? You guys were able to hear that music, right?
Yes.
Like, yeah. Okay.
You weren't
I'm
able to
going-
hear it?
No, for some reason that's coming in through my speakers, and
Oh.
not my headphones.
That's-
So
oh.
everything else is coming in through that. But when you did the intern thing, it's I don't know what that is. I have no I don't have any soundboard or anything. Like it should only be coming through my headphones. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I
that's
wonder
it.
why that's the
yeah.
case.
I don't know, but let's not worry about it. I just we'll figure it out later. But I just want to make sure I'm the only one having the problem. If it's only me having the problem and the audience is fine, then that's good. But I just making sure it's only me.
Okay. Okay. Cool. So Detective Comics 1090. Or 1090 if you prefer. This is a book that when I saw this book, I got mad at the Fantastic Forum because I know you all. I mean, we're all like just about every comic book fan is a Batman fan, right? The only person I've ever heard say they're not fans of Batman is what? Todd McFarlane, and I think he might be lying.
Look, he wouldn't do capes the way he does.
Right.
Yeah. I didn't see
said
him
it.
draw Doctor Strange like that.
right. So but it's like if you're a comic book fan, more likely than not, you're a Batman fan. So that kind of just goes without saying. Like we just all just assume some people are Batman fans, right? It's just a matter of degree. How big of a Batman fan are you, right?
Mhm.
Me, I would consider myself a regular Batman fan. Like that. I like Batman probably a little bit more than the average man. You know what I'm saying? Or like maybe a little bit more than the average comic book fan, but not a lot more than the average comic book fan, right? But who I am a fan of is the writer Tom Taylor, and like I'm a big fan of his, and so
Are
I
you
was
sure you're
mad.
not mistaking him for Tom King?
No,
Okay.
I'm not making that mistake. I know, even though I like Tom King, mind you,
Yeah.
like Tom King is a great writer and has written a lot of amazing things that I enjoy. Probably one of the ones I most enjoyed from Tom King is The Activity, which is it's a spy comic book, it's really good. It has like a few different volumes that are awesome. Definitely something you should mess with if you're into spy fiction. But Tom Taylor, I just like his take on superhero books. Like, he does
more like a
great.
mistake.
Oh wow. Wait. Hold, Oz, hold. But
Was he the dude that said that wrote I got red, white, and blue written through me like bacon?
was that Tom Taylor?
It might have been like one of his early works, and I've actually been quoting that line a lot lately in the last week because I'm like,
Why?
well, because it's like this is my home, and it's going to shit. So, so I'm like, man, that line really like is hitting now. So like they're gonna quote it. People are gonna attribute it to me, but it's like because they don't read fucking comics. I'm like, read fucking comics, and I think it was Starlight or whatever, like the Stan Lee comic that I think he was the writer on.
Really?
I think so. I'm like 88% sure, but
Yeah.
or Starbright or something like I forgot what it was called. But.
Right. But I was like, okay, if Tom Taylor's writing Batman. Why wouldn't somebody from the show tell me that? And when I asked you all about it, everybody was like, "Oh yeah, that happened like a month
Yeah,
ago."
we're on
or like 4
1093
months
now.
ago."
Yeah,
I didn't say that.
you weren't
Joe
here when
said
he
it.
said it. You
Joe
left early.
Joe said,
No,
"Oh, that
I
happened like
haven't
2
been-
months ago."
I didn't know anything about it.
No, that look, Joe was the one that told Tom Taylor to start writing Detective Comics. And I'm like, Joe,
That's not true. Joe would have him do like
and not even
IDW stuff.
oh well, but look, Joe has no friggin' loyalty or any kind of devotion to anyone but himself. That's it.
You know, I wouldn't have done that. Like, my favorite incarnation of Detective Comics was the Ensemble. Like, can you
like
go
the-
back to just doing Batman? Like, I had nothing to do with that.
Got you. Well, okay, and that's fair. That's fair. I hear what you're saying.
Jay,
but yeah,
did you ever read? Oh, no, sorry, I don't mean
No, go
to. But Jay, did you ever read those Gotham Knights books, like in the late, like in the 2000s, early 2000s?
Gotham Knights.
It's like one would have been like one was like a Nightwing and Robin book, and another was like a Birds of Prey book, and like they would do like 3 stories, 3 little arcs, and it was all Batman family. It was like Detective Comics, but it was all Bat family, like each one, and then they would team up for bigger issues,
I
longer
think I
run.
did read some of it. I
Yeah.
don't think I read all of it.
Okay. But that's a good series, like if you like that stuff, because they went out for a while, and then they would do the little black and white like backstories on the back that were always pretty good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'll have to look
Mm.
back into those.
If you get DC Universe, you might be able to read them.
well, there it is.
Shameless plug. I invested in that too.
But yeah, so needless to say, I really wanted to check this book out, and so here we are. Oz, I know you're our resident DC guy. You're also a Bat family fan. What it sounded like you have some misgivings about this book. Why don't you tell us about it?
Tom Taylor is kind of like hit or miss.
Mhm.
Like he did Injustice, which is a great book. Love that
Right.
book.
Mm-hmm.
His Nightwing run was,
You didn't like the Nightwing run.
no.
Was
so-
that Tom Taylor or Tom King on Nightwing?
That was Tom
I think
Taylor.
actually, are you sure it's not Tom King?
Oh, now you got me doubting myself.
Yeah. I mean, let's double check for the audience. We know exactly what it is, but the audience might confuse. Yeah.
Okay, do something. I gotta look it up now.
No.
Yeah.
But I
or
can
we
see
can
what Oz. I don't know. I'm gonna take a stab at a shot in the dark at what Oz's misgivings would be with it, and it's just kind of like how he didn't like Space Age or even First Night, because it kind of just goes back to the Elder Wayne Thomas, and like it's almost like now we got more stories with Thomas Wayne that we even need. Like he wasn't like we don't need him shaping Batman, because his death is what really shaped Batman. Like that's why Batman could do all this stuff for all this time. Like once you start learning more about what happened before he died, it's like it kind of takes away a little of it. It's like, man, this dude had like, I mean, I can see why he has the pain and trauma, but it's like, dude, like
Yeah,
this
Taylor.
this motherfucker did more in 6 years for Bruce Wayne than my dad did in 5 minutes that he hung out with me. R.I.P. Dad. But it's still like man, like there's so much content with like every flashback is something new. I'm like, dude, like this motherfucker couldn't have done that all in like 8 years,
I mean, he was a grown man. Like his life was still something before Bruce Wayne was born.
Right. But what Bruce Wayne was there to observe and to learn from is only like 2 years. Like he was a dumb little kid till about 4 or 5. I mean, that's assuming he's not like, an advanced IQ, but guess what? His parents never had him tested because they were dead. So so we don't know what he would have learned from them at age 3 or like when he started remembering shit.
Okay.
So and again, that's not. I don't not like this book for that reason, but when reading it, I'm like, Oz better have something to say about this, because the way he talked about Superman Space Age, or every time they do a new origin, like now doing a flashback of Thomas Wayne would be that new trope for Batman now, and I'm like, if he didn't like Space Age, he didn't like First Night, like, because then he shouldn't like this. I loved it, but I was like, I'm sure he might have a problem with this, or he should, based on, I would bet that he would, if I was a betting man, based on what he's critical of. And so it was exciting for me to find out. And now I think he has the answer if it's Tom King doing.
Yeah, it was Tom Taylor.
Tom Taylor? Okay.
Yeah, and he took over after the whole Rick Grayson.
Now, are you sure
thing.
you're saying Tom Taylor and not saying Tom King?
I actually have it pulled up now, so yeah.
No. Like, we literally went to a Tom King panel,
right?
And we love Tom King, but Larry was like, he was thinking, he thought he was going to Tom Taylor the whole time.
Yeah, right. I really did.
When we saw him, he was like, that's not what he looks like.
No, not Tom Taylor. It's motherfucking Tom King. No, it's like, who let him in here? No, I'm joking.
It was a great panel. I
think it was. It was a good time.
I think I still have the audio file we could put up, but
yeah,
but in the audio
like,
section.
oh man, yeah. So anyway, but okay. So Oz.
Yeah,
so
Mo is kind of right about. He did the same thing to Nightwing that he's doing to Batman with the Thomas Wayne story.
Mm-hmm.
And he's doing the thing that bugs me every time I see it happen. Like, even all the way back to the first Batman movie, where they made Joker the guy that killed his parents. They try to make that connection. So he does shit like that all the time and tries to fuck with the backstory to try to make it more impactful. I mean, what's going on is already an impactful scene. You don't need to make the guy that. Are we spoiling? I'm sure we're spoiling, because it's like,
yeah.
I mean,
you don't have issues away. Like,
you don't have to make the horrible guy that his father saved and taught his son a lesson about the importance of life. Doesn't have to be Joe Chill. And then on top of that, you give Joe Chill a daughter that Batman ends up banging.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's always trying to add stuff that doesn't need to be added.
It's like Telltale game shit.
With Nightwing, he added a half sister that he had to dedicate a book to explain that Nightwing's dad didn't actually cheat on his mom. This is what happened.
What had happened?
He fucked her mom. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
A whole book to tell how he fucked her mom without cheating.
Well,
how did he not cheat?
He wasn't dating the mom yet. Like, they were kind of like interested in each other. This girl ran away from an abusive husband, mob boss. I think he was a Maroni or one of those. I forget. Mm-hmm. And hides in the circus, and he's Nightwing's dad. Of course, he's gonna bang her. She was hot. Like, the black eye didn't deter him. He's still gonna hit that. He hits that once. He comes, takes her back, and it turns out she's pregnant.
The black eye issue turned out that he thought she was winking at him.
They slept together once. He got her pregnant, and he kind of forgot about her. Started dating Nightwing's mom. So, the sister is supposed to be like a year or two older.
I'm not sure if that makes it better.
Again, that's why he doesn't like Tom Taylor.
Yeah. All of that unnecessary.
Yeah.
Why? Now, okay, and the point you're making, I definitely understand. Where you're like, we don't need extra layers or whatnot. Now,
what's going on in the story is actually good. Like, I like that life lesson that young Bruce Wayne learned. you don't need to add those extra connections.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, at that point, you're just being pretentious. Like you went from good to pretentious.
Well, but it's interesting though, because all the part that makes it the pretentious part is that person is Joe Chill.
That he's got to make that connection. Not just that's Joe Chill, but then the purple hair chick is his daughter. And so he's trying to drum up drama by then at some point they sleep together. So it's not just
what's the like what I'm trying to like when you say drum up.
Bruce Wayne is having sex with the daughter of his parents' killers.
Yeah.
The biggest, most impactful moment in his life that led to trauma, and he's banging the daughter like nothing.
But even that, like what Oz has a problem with is, and mind you, I did like this issue.
Mm-hmm.
This is not. I see what Oz sees, but I connected to something else. It's like this is derivative of Mask of the Phantasm. like he literally fucked the villain, you know.
Yeah,
so I haven't read the rest of it, but she's probably gonna be the villain in this arc, you know, or you know, so or something connected to that, and he's gonna have to have a hard choice. Oh, poor privileged ass Batman, rich motherfucker, handsome with a bunch of abs that bullets don't penetrate, just like in the first movie. Like he's got to have this problem where it's like, oh shit,
now he's on drugs.
My justice boner can't get up because my man boner use this woman, you know, like
my justice boner.
Yeah, like so it's like it's Vicky Vale all over again. It's Batman Forever all over again.
It's Talia in the movies.
Yeah, it's Talia in the movies. But even before, even with what was it? With George Clooney, it was the other chick, you know, like so it's like this aspect of Batman is overdone. And that's where Absolute Batman like really shines now, where it's like reading this, as much as I enjoyed it, I still was like, man, I love how fresh Absolute Batman is, you know, because it kind of right as of now, it's only Catwoman that's that, but they haven't even developed that. That's the long story, you know, like they're not rushing into it. They're not giving you that, like they're doing what Gotham did with him and Catwoman as little kids, you know, but we still haven't seen Catwoman in this Absolute Batman world, you know. So it's like, and it's no fault of Tom Taylor. Like it's still, I'm sure editorial had something that they had to do. It's like, oh, maybe you can't do the things too much like this because we got Absolute. And maybe I feel like if Tom Taylor would have done Absolute Batman, we would have gotten something great too. You know, I feel he's constrained. You know, like I think he's the one I want to see do a distillery book now.
I kind of see what he's saying too, because like I said, I love his work on Injustice, and that's a book where they tell him
go free.
Just fucking go nuts. You know, don't worry about any of the past. This is a whole new timeline, and you're gonna make Superman an evil dude.
Yeah,
figure out a way to make that shit happen, and the way it happens is amazing.
Yeah. And that Superman is still Superman. It's just, you know, he just has a different sensibility of handling things. You know,
I mean, he justifies everything he does
exactly,
and where it makes you think like, you know, he's kind of got a point.
Yeah. He could be
also Dark Knights of Steel was really good too.
Yeah, that's another one.
And
too,
that's another where it's like just
where
not,
he plays.
No
he plays with the you have your what they are and what they represent, and he plays with it. Either having them learn who they are or enforce who they are or reinforce who they are, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Now listen, I like Jay's been patiently listening. I
want to bet he didn't read it.
Oh, listen, I doubt that seriously. but I do want to acknowledge that Hecht is in the building. What up, Hecht?
What up?
All right. Heck, you didn't by chance read this book, did you?
I just finished reading it.
Oh, okay, cool. Hold on to that. Let me go to Jay. Jay, what were your thoughts on Detective Comics 1090?
Mixed. Like
Oh, he read it.
Batman getting older and not being able to keep up with the 17-year-old kid running tired is a little weird.
Why is that
Like,
weird?
I don't know. It just feels weird. Like,
Larry, don't infringe his like. You're stepping on his review. Jay, let me word that better. How is that weird?
and if I could borrow the words of someone other than I, Batman is supposed to be like peak human, and I get like it's weird because it messes up the Batman power fantasy. If you're like, oh no, he can't keep up with the kid, like some high schooler, he can't catch him.
Well,
like,
you're talking about the kid that ran.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but
who did you think I was talking about?
Oh, I know you're talking about Damian.
Damian's not in this book.
Yeah, I don't think I saw him in this book.
He's in like 92 or 90.
You know what? You're right. He's not in that book. Yeah,
See,
yeah.
and again, now I'm pissed at you again, Larry. I was pissed when you suggested this book because it's like this book is old as fuck. I read this like 3 months ago. Like the fuck, like why are we reviewing this shit now? And then I'm like, I was behind on it too, and I'm like, should I even read the new ones now that like because we're reviewing this one? I want to be able to like contribute with the most that I can. And I'm like, nah, I'll be all right. Like, and then now you're bringing up shit from the issues I didn't even read.
Look, I had to pull it up because last week I condensed like 3 Green Lantern books into one.
Right.
And like, I listened to that. I'm like, man, that make no sense if you just picked up the But like when I say Kyle Rayner's white, like that kind of sounded wrong if you didn't read the book before that.
Now in this new iteration, he's right. White is right.
Also, yeah, the connection to Joe Chill I thought was unnecessary, but I do like this villain. Like, I really like him. Like, he's out there killing bad guys.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I like that as a juxtaposition to Batman, who is like, no, I save everyone, or I try to save everyone, like as many as I can, to this other guy who's like, no, like if they're doing bad shit, then they need to die.
Yeah.
And so I do like that, and that interests me.
Okay.
So overall, I would say the book is a mixed bag.
What I do, the question that did come up for me because I work with people and I yell at them to read fucking comics every day. Like, I have my opinions about this, but this is a question that I thought about in reading this, like that I wanted to hear from all of you, even Hecht. If you're gonna like get somebody to read comics for the first time, would you give them this book?
No, I probably would.
No.
I think
like every problem that I have with this book is just because I've been reading Batman for so long.
Yeah.
Somebody that hasn't, you hand them this book, so this starts a new arc. I think it's a fine place to start. It's a good story.
How about you, Jay?
I don't know if I hand them this book.
That might be that might be a topic for another. Like maybe we'll do a little Skype call video thing.
There's probably
which
better
comic
stories.
we would do that, but when you read this one and it's like I'm gonna give this to a little kid. Like I bought it because it's what I do at work.
That's how a little kid.
Yeah.
No, I give little kids comics all the
PG-13
time.
at least.
Yeah, no, I agree.
No, but
like,
they're
it's
little
definitely a teenager
boys.
book.
Like I work with little boys. Like they'll be fine.
Let's rephrase that.
Mo's out there giving him Vampirella.
No, I'm not yet. No. I felt bad giving. I gave a girl Creature Commandos from like the 70s, where it's like they're cussing and shit and dealing with Nazis and shit. And then she's watching the cartoons like, that comic was not like the cartoon. Like, I'm sorry, I thought it would be. You know? but yeah.
I like, why not? They cuss in the cartoon.
Right, but for some reason in cartoons, parents find it funny. In comics, it's like, what are you giving my daughter? You know,
that's
something
weird.
about the written word scares people, as we see in our country.
If only there was some kind of code to keep that from happening.
Yeah.
Some sort of comics code.
Yeah. Some kind of comics authority.
Right. Exactly. Heck, man, you read Detective Comics 1090 and decided to call in. We appreciate that. Give us your take, man. What was your impression of this book?
I see where everybody's coming from in their reviews. It's a good start to a story. I'm kind of mixed on the whole, it's Joe Chill. Like, but it puts intrigue into the story. I don't know about Wayne banging the daughter, because it sounds like he's known her since she was little, so that'll be weird. But he's a millionaire, so you never know.
And white.
Well, but
white.
I mean, so is she at this point.
But they're the same, right? And they're like around the same age. Like they're not. It's not like,
are they?
You know.
Oh, he's at least 5 or 6 years old. Well, I guess that's not that bad at their age. If he's in his 30s, 5 years isn't. Yeah. Okay.
And if she has her own property, then it's fine.
No, but I mean, it's like, yeah, they're literally like, they're not even like.
But
I wouldn't even put them like 6 years apart. They're probably like within 5 years of
straight
age.
Up with the way the story starts and the way Oracle is like, well, you can't keep up with a kid that's 17. You've had how many surgeries on your knees? It's like the way they make it sound, he's pushing 40. Like if he ain't 40, he's like upper 30s.
Well, I can tell you one thing. I'm 41. I've been lifting weights since I was 14. I don't work out legs anymore because my knees squeak, and I have been fighting crime.
Not squeak. They don't squeak, do they, Mo?
No, they do. Like, they literally. I tried to do it at my house. I was like, you know what? I don't need to go to the gym. I could just watch TV. I could watch anime and do legs. And I started working on it. I'm like, the fuck is this sound? And they're literally like, my knees need to be oiled. And it's like, what the fuck is it? And I told my doctor, but he's like, yeah, welcome to 40.
It doesn't matter how old Bruce Wayne is, because we know she was born while his parents were still alive, and they got shot when he was 8.
Yeah.
And
so,
they let Joe Chill go. They let that filthy immigrant Joe Chill go. And and then he was able to kill his parents. Yeah.
So at worst, there's like a few year difference.
I'd say it's about 5 or 6, like 6 the top.
Nah, I think they're probably
because his face is all fucked up and bandaged, and that had to, like, heal up before he's shot.
But even still, like, they could have been, because even when you go later in the book, it's like you're finally, like, your kid is finally interested in what you're doing and what you let him go. And when he says you let him go, he's still a little kid. He's still like 5 or 4 or some shit. Yeah.
What I can tell you all, just because, like, I've, like,
you've
again,
read
like,
the rest. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I like, there's a.
Why didn't they deport your ass?
They did. He came back.
Yeah, well, they didn't want him in the Dominican Republic. It was like, fuck this fool. You get him, send him back.
They wouldn't kill me.
We'll pay the tariff. Fuck it.
Yeah, no tariffs on us. Like, we don't want this shit here.
Oh, it's too funny.
He's a Joe Chill from here.
But no, there's a scene in one of the more recent issues that is like a flashback scene, and they're kids in the scene, and it's not like, they're not like But yeah, they're kids in the scene, and they look like they're similar age. Like they don't look necessarily like they're the same age, but they definitely, it only feels like a few years between them. But we'll see. And who knows? Like honestly, she might be older.
What?
Like, oh no, that's not
Ain't
true.
no
We
way,
see
man.
when she's born.
You're right. We do see when she's born, so she's younger, but only a little
But
bit.
that's what I'm saying. But like, it's like 4 or 5 years. That's what I was saying, and that's kind of what I was saying too. Like, the whole situation. Like, even when Bruce asked him, like, "Why'd you let him live?" Like, and again, that's the criticism I have. Is like, man, how much impact did Thomas Wayne? Like, for me, I always identified with Bruce Wayne is like he wants to do good. He wants to save the world because he never had like every little boy sees their dad as a hero at some point. He never had that. He died when he was a kid. My dad left when I was 1. So it's like, that's why I didn't fight. So every time I see this flashback, it's like, man, this motherfucker had a lot more impact. And, after my dad died, I got a surge of memories and shit. So I get it. Like, there's shit there that the lure of me has a lot of too much shit. So it's like, I get it. But I'm like, why do we need another comic of this shit as a motif? Like, this is now a trope,
That's interesting. See, and it, like, I will say that, and I think for me, like the part of it that made most of you feel like a little bit like, oh, here we go, was the part that I liked. Like I when, it was no part of me that was even thinking like the person was going to be anybody of any like significance. And so when he said it was Joe Chill, I was like, oh, schmack. Like, imagine, like, I thought it was going to be just, like what Oz was saying, like, oh, just going to be just a good story. And, when you add that Joe Chill layer, what I liked about it was it didn't feel to me, at least like, or at least maybe this is just me, like, having faith in Tom Taylor. Like, it didn't feel like to me like he was going to make it like, okay, it's going to be this thing where it's like, oh, we're going to find out that, Joe Chill and Thomas Wayne have this deep past. And, it didn't feel to me like that was going to be the case. It just felt to me like, oh, okay, like this is just a thing we didn't know, a connection between these two people that we didn't know.
But this would be MCU's Batman. Like,
well, yeah, I mean, I feel well, but at the same time, though, like this, like, yeah, like I could totally understand why it kind of feels like if this was a movie, we would definitely be like, again, oh, okay, here we go.
I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but that's why the question came to my head. If you're gonna introduce somebody to comics, like, would this be the one you give them to? Like, it's a good jumping off point. The shit is still greatly written. Like what Joe thought, the knee thing. I read that and I'm like, man, I was telling Emily, like, dude, this is so great. Like, she's watching, she's watching Trump sign a new law. She's like, babe, I'm busy. No, but like, this guy that's writing Batman right now is talking about his knees not working. He's talking about his knees not working. And she's like, no, but this law that's coming is like, no, but he used to be a CIA guy. And then it's like, then I'm like, oh, fuck, that's Tom King, not Tom Taylor.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, no, it's not
I did the same mistake. I'm like, and then, so I had to retract from my own wife. And she's like, why don't you just don't talk to me when you're reading fucking comics? Like, let me watch my fucking TV, my news and shit. Like,
she also doesn't know either one of those names.
No, she does. She knows. Okay. Yeah, she knows CIA for sure, because that's gonna be the new Gestapo. It's like, we're ready. Like, we know how to make soap in the concentration camps. We've been watching a lot of World War II.
I just realized she probably got this from. I just realized she probably just ripped it off from the Batman because they did the same thing too.
Which one?
What did the Batman do?
Where Thomas Wayne had to save Falcone.
Oh, gotcha.
Oh, yeah. But I mean, but again, like what we saw here is, and again, that's why I say, like, if you're gonna introduce somebody new, like, does it do its job in that case? Because really, like, this is basic. Like, this would be like the next Telltale game, like, in a revamp, like, introduce somebody from, because they did that with the Penguin. Like, the Penguin is a aristocrat from Gotham, like, and that's Gates of Gotham shit. They took some shit from Gates of Gotham or whatever, and then even the movie took from the game, like, because it's like it's an easy way to do Batman story. It's like this is the easy way to do it. Yeah, it's like they don't want to do the weird shit where it's like Batman has to call the Flash, like, fucking Riddler, fuck me, I can't, my brain's fucked, but you're fast enough, like, can we just talk for 30 seconds and then maybe you just disarm all the bombs, like, like, yeah, like that'd be like, I would make a Batman movie, it would last 15 seconds because it would be 15 seconds would be like Batman, like, should I call the Flash, and then the Flash fixes it for him and then he nabs the Riddler.
The Flash runs down the 17-year-old kid.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then it turns into the boys. Oh shit, that's so new. That's so great. Yeah.
Too funny. So okay. Like, yeah. And it's like I can definitely, but the points that you all are making, I definitely can understand, especially, reading the first issue like on its own, or the first issue of the run. I'm sorry, like, yeah, because it's not like it's still going on, like but yeah, like I get it. What I will say is this: I feel like, which I don't like. Oz, you're not reading, or you haven't been reading Detective, right?
Yeah,
this motherfucker's current.
It's my pull list.
Yeah, we're all current.
Detective and Batman and Nightwing.
Motherfucker is Tom Taylor writing it, and we all thought it was Tom King.
So, yeah, I mean, how have you just, like, so you've been reading it as it's been happening. Like, do you feel like the story has developed in a way that you like better then, or you still just like it still didn't go anywhere that you appreciate?
It's developing, but I'm worried. It's Tom Taylor. Like, his Nightwing run really fucked me up.
Got you. Yeah.
And I'm starting to see like hints
pattern
of like every book has cameos. Batman can't do anything by himself. Nightwing couldn't either, apparently.
And that was kind of the thing where I'm like,
it's one thing. It's one thing to have his family. Like, if Robin shows up, I mean, yeah, they're gonna be there. But like, he's got Superman in one book, and it's just like to scan his knee and say, "Hey, you think I should do this?" Like, he's got Superman right there and a new supervillain. Like Mo said, "Hey, go over there for a little bit."
Yeah, but he like, the reason why he calls Superman feels like a legit reason, don't you think? Nah.
I mean, he's a rich man, a rich white man in America with the best like healthcare. Like, he
wasn't gonna pay nothing for an X-ray.
Like, the dude with the X-ray would have cleared him if he was a boxer or an MMA fighter. Like, just do it, bro. Just do it. Like, Superman might be the wrong one to call. Where it's like, what? You should sit back. But he ain't gonna listen to Superman either. Like, his sense of justice is like, fuck it, fuck my knee.
But it's funny because that conversation you're having, Mo, comes up in
if this stupid motherfucker can have that conversation, it's not worth reading in a comic form. Like, I'm a fucking moron. Like, you don't need me to be writing your fucking comics. Like, but my only talent is talking shit about comics. Like, if I could write them, you're fucking up. Yeah.
No, but it's the idea that the perspective of somebody is like, dude, like, you're rich. Like, come on, man. Like, like you like that affects like who you are and how healthy you are and all this kind of stuff. And that's something that
blah blah blah
gets addressed. Like,
you know what? What I want to see is the Kim Kardashian fight crime. And she actually kind of did. Like, a little
bit. I just want Taylor to stay on track and don't let his ADHD screw with his stories like he did on the Nightwing run. It took 2 years to get to the point with that villain, because he kept getting distracted with the relationship with Batgirl, and then he had the stuff with the Titans, and then he had this. He had like the sister. Now you got to tell me about the sister. So if he can keep if he can keep the story like
Stay
more focused,
Succinct.
it'll be good.
I believe the word you're looking for is succinct. I don't know what that means, but I believe that's what you're looking for. What I do want to say about this book is that we literally been discussing the story, and in any art form, if you can get this much conversation, the art is something that like I loved.
Yeah, the art is fantastic.
The color theory, like just on the cover, like I don't know. We can't show it here.
That's Mikhail Janin.
But
yeah,
but
you can't show it the cover.
And the cover and the color theory in the book followed the same motif of the cover. Like that shit was like I just picked 3 pages that I was reading and I did a screen cap of it. So, like that's what I was trying to show earlier. But it's like just the colors, like when Batman is like trying to get like the greens for the night.
Yeah.
The black for the early night.
And then depending, like it was like basically the same shot, but you had a red, like and the green, like the way all that works together with the art, like the art was amazing. And again, like as much as I've been talking crap about this book, I'm only doing it as a dude I'm an old motherfucker reading Batman. But if I was gonna give this to a young person, it's like, read. You want to read Batman? Read this. Like for me, the answer is yes. This is the book I would give them to start off.
Thomas looks a little too much Omni-Man, but
that's okay because they watched that already. Probably didn't even know the person I would give the book to. Probably didn't even know Invincible was a comic yet. And Omni-Man is a reason. There's a reason he looks like that because Kirkman read fucking Batman.
Right.
So giving this book to that person, like I think would be and that's why I chose to like the just the color theory of and the art, and like it's all clean. I almost I wanted to hate on the next one over because the art wasn't the same, but then they had the nightmare scene and I'm like so like dude, this is definitely like as a trade paper guy I would lovingly buy this book and just give it to somebody that was wanting to and give them the whole arc. Like I've only read the first 2 of this arc, but I would lovingly like just I'll pay for it here. You take it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
See, the book's good, and it gives new details to the history of Batman, like why he does what he does, why he doesn't kill, and why he doesn't do drugs or whatever. And but I'm not into here, take this comic, you never read him before, read this. I'm into this comic as an accent to like if you give him Year One or give him Dark Knight Returns or something, like then read this. Because if you read this first, you get some of the history and the history, you can tell them the history of Batman, but it doesn't hit the same.
I feel that because like I love Batman Year One. I just, such a good book. It's interesting though, because I worry sometimes like Batman.
You worry? Like you're like the most optimistic person I know.
I listen, but it's like what I worry about is modern comic book audiences because I'm just like to me I'm like Year One it's timeless. It's a classic comic that will always be good, but at the same time it's one of these things where I'm like audiences change over time, and it would not surprise me if like a person coming into comics today might find Year One a little slow, like in the same way how, we have like classic movies, right? And the pacing is just different in older movies than it is in modern movies. And, if what you're used to is, if your cinema diet consists of only things from like, the past 5 years, when you look at something from 25 years back, you might be
Yeah.
like, this tastes weird.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
and so I'm just like, oh, that hurts. It hurts me on the inside to think that I could hand year one to somebody and they'd be like, it was all right. It was all right.
Well,
like, how dare you?
I definitely think like because I in dealing with people, which
Right.
we all know how much I love that.
No.
When I talk to them about old cinema and like Ingmar Bergman and things like that, and it's like it's just too slow. I'm like, no, but that's how they made movies back then. Like, you know, like
Right.
the attention spans. So you got to give it. I don't think like as much as I do it for movies and watching people like accept it when I explain it to them as a primer. Like I have to do a primer for the movies I do recommend, or even series I recommend. Like having to do that for comics, like while it would feel like I would love to do that, but it hurts more with comics. Like
Yeah.
trying to tell them like, oh, the Watchmen is this way because of this, you know?
Right.
And the thing about comics though is that comics is like fashion. Art styles come back around. So like we're seeing like even when we're talking about fucking the Green Lantern book last week, where it's like the art felt like 90s like kitsch, you know? Like,
Yeah.
and it's like yeah, they're trying to be that because that's kind of the style that's coming back in the culture too, you know. So
Right.
they're going with that, but it's like, no, do that shit right, brother. You know,
Right.
but yeah, the it's a lot easier and a little more gratifying to explain movies that way to people than it is comics. Like
Right.
I feel for me particularly, the dummy, whatever you want to call me that I am, like I feel like they should just love it the moment I hand it to them, you know, and the way I did, you know, like so
Right.
that is something so close to me. Comics is closer to me than than music or movies. So I want them to love it. So that's why I don't, I only give it to kids because they have that little part of their brain that can take it. When I give I give an adult the thing, read this, like I don't like it. And it's like, oh, my experience. Like, fuck your experience. Read the comic. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, like, and it's funny. Like, I will say too, Jay, like, if you decide to keep reading, like Oz did say, like, there are cameos and there are like Bat family folks in the book, like more than you probably would think of. So I don't know if Detective will get back to how like the version of it you like, with the book being entirely about other everybody else, but
right,
but at least that there's there are other folks. So
Knight
anybody got any Knight and no, there's no Knight and Squire.
That's the wrong Tom.
Yeah,
I can read the rest then. It's good.
Yeah,
that's Tom King.
Oh, did Tom King do that book with Knight and Squire?
Pretty sure.
Oh wow.
My memory's fuzzy, but
right.
I'm pretty sure that was Tom King that did Knight and Squire.
Okay.
Not Tom Taylor.
Yeah. So what else does anybody have anything else they want to say about Detective 1090 before we do some ratings? All right. Hecht, what would you rate Detective Comics 1090?
I'll give it a 4. It has really good art. It's a good story, and it adds on to the mythos of Batman without fucking anything really.
Right. Right. All right. Jay, how about you, man? What would you rate Detective Comics 1090?
I'll give it a 3. It's like right in the middle of stuff I like and stuff that I could do without.
That's fair. Okay, cool. Oscorp. What would you rate Detective Comics 1090?
I'll probably go with 4. Nobody cares about the stuff I don't like.
Okay. All right. Moses Magnum. What would you rate Detective Comics 1090?
I am with Oz. I'm a 4. I'm an old ass motherfucker reading something. Old ass motherfucker writing Batman to make him feel new. So it's just, this is what we get here. But it's definitely like, if I was gonna give like my nieces and nephews or my little kid clients, like, you want to read a Batman book? Here, read this. Like,
right.
That would be they would probably get more out of it than I could. Like, just from my own perspective, it would be probably the most like mature book they've ever read.
Right.
And
right.
They know the lore already. Like, he died. His parents died, so getting a big flashback like that for them on their first issue they read, like, and in the end, we want more people to read comics. So this book is actually, I would give it 4.5. Yeah, like the issues I had with it, I had those issues, but I still enjoyed it, and I still kept reading beyond. So it's a great jumping on point. Like, when we talk about what you can jump onto, where to jump onto, especially with DC, because their numbering is still weird. Like, 1090, who's gonna jump on the 1090? They're gonna jump on 1100. Like, we gotta wait 5 years for them to do that? Fuck that. Jump on here. So, and the way the issue worked out, and I can't knock it. Like, what I didn't like about it, I didn't like, just from me being an old bastard that has been reading Batman since he was 5. But I would recommend this book to anybody at any age. Like, this is a book that they should read.
Yeah.
So, it's 4.5 out of 5.
Yeah, I honestly, I'd give it a 4.5 myself. Like, I just really enjoyed it. But again, I'm a fan of the writer. I was excited to read the book, and it did not disappoint. And so, yeah, like all the reasons that you all liked it, I liked it. All the reasons you all disliked it, I liked it for those reasons too. So, I don't know what to tell you. I guess I don't think, but I didn't hear anything that sounded like invalid. Like, I get what you're saying. I
hated it because my dad was a piece of shit, not Thomas Wayne. But that's me. Like, whoever I give this book to might literally be like, man, my dad's like Thomas Wayne, like, he might be a good doctor after I give him this book,
There it is.
Instead of a vigilante usurping people their Second Amendment rights on the rooftop.
So,
damn you, Batman.
All right, cool. Let's go ahead and talk about You Won't Feel a Thing, number 1. Moses, can you start us off with this? Tell the people
why me, man? What the fuck, man?
I think you know why, Mo. I think you know why.
The shit's called Distillery. Everything is like, everything is whiskey themed. It's a comic book company made for, and then the people they choose to make their work. It's like everybody. Like, if I was gonna reinvent Image, like that's the people. It's the people that should have been New 52. Yeah, but yeah. So yeah, I fucking love Distillery. I'm. Yeah, they ignored us that one Comic-Con, but we won't hold that against them. But
I'm surprised to hear Moses say that.
Yeah, no, I love them. I love them. Right? Shit, we partied with those motherfuckers last summer. So it's like they weren't even, and again, they weren't there for a Distillery party. They were there for an IDW party.
Right.
Where I put my money and Jay puts his money and his penis every now and then. But
wow.
Like, ask Jay, look, he's looking to the left. He's like, did I? Like he's not even listening. Say that.
I don't think I did.
You weren't even at the party, and Larry doesn't have your hat, and also, heck, Larry doesn't have your hat either.
Damn it!
Yeah.
I
That's
got
supposed to
money
be
in IDW too.
Oh, do you too? Oh hell yeah, we got the 3/5 of Fantastic Forum right now. Are
Hell yeah.
the SEC is gonna come? Like we're talking too much about IDW.
It's not a monopoly yet.
Yeah, not yet. Yeah. Hey, we're rich white men here. Me, Jay, and Heck. Well, me, Jay, and Hank Schwartz. That's
There you go.
yeah,
You got to use my white name.
yeah. Because Hector Moreno, like Moreno means black. Yeah, Schwartz.
Listen, I like the way you said it.
Like, they don't like it either.
You've been hanging around Jay too long.
Yeah, no, they don't like it either. That's why I changed it to Schwartz. Yeah. If he was doing comedy, it would be like Heck Black. But no, he's not doing comedy. Yeah.
I had a teacher in college, and he would call me Mr. Brown, and it took me forever. Why do you call me Brown?
Yeah, because Moreno.
Moreno.
Yeah.
Oh fuck. Got me.
Yeah. But back to Distillery, man. This is probably one of the hardest books to read for me. From Distillery, they've all dealt with a lot of. I mean, they're deep stories, and they take their time, like. And that again, that's why Larry told me to talk about this, because Distillery really does books for me. Yeah, and this one felt like I was reading it and I was agonizing while I'm watching this. It's a story of an old dude dude, like, yeah, Larry, fuck you, man. Yeah, like, for real, like, I'm about to get teary-eyed here. Like, the relationship the dude had with his high school girlfriend, like, mirrors mine, and it's like, and it's similar. And then she was taken from me too, in a sense, and we couldn't, like, it was always it wasn't unrequited, but it just didn't work out. They never let it played out. And I if I can get into it to explain it, because to explain this comic, I do have to explain that. It's really like, we were together for 3 weeks. Then her mom found out, and she's like, look, I got pregnant when I was 16. You're 16. You're not dating anybody. I came from El Salvador here so that you didn't have the life I had. So nobody's fucking you till you're 18 at least. And if you keep seeing that boy, you're gonna, I'm gonna send you back to El Salvador. And the chick was born in El Salvador, so I was like, oh well, like, well, I don't want you to go back. I could just look at you from afar. Yeah, but I didn't have any answers, and I still can't listen. Let's just say I still can't listen to Elvis Costello's song. Yeah, like, it's still like, and as a grown up, we met, and we've had conversations, and it's been fun. She's a friend of mine. I don't really talk to her much, since I'm a married man now. So there's no sense in doing that. It's really not worth it, like, digging up all that shit. So it's like, this series kind of went that way, and then, dude, some motherfucker just killed the bitch in the fucking, like, the reprieve I could get from this story I just gave you. This character doesn't get. A serial killer fucking murdered her, and now he's an old ass man dying of fucking cancer, and they're putting him on fucking true crime podcasts, like, people that glorify these fucking shit cocksuckers because they're like, oh well, we just like the investigation. Dude, this motherfucker's pain. And he's like, you saw him, didn't you? Some little kid and it's like, and again, like, this is the experience I had reading this book. I can't even tell you this book without, like, connecting it to me, because it is. I'm an old ass man now, and I identify with this old ass man more than I do his caretaker. Half of the people that are buying the comic identify with his caretaker. Oh, I want to have an old man that could tell me all these crazy true crime stories. Yeah, no, this motherfucker lived a life, and it's fucked up. And this book just took you issue 1 through motherfucker. If I have a criticism about Distillery, You know what? Draw the line at 22 pages, like DC did back in 2011, man. Like, what the fuck? Like, they're literally like this motherfucker. It's an old man dying of cancer, dealing with his fucking kids. Like, his kid is going on vacation because it's winter in fucking Minnesota. Like, I'm going to Arizona. Fuck this shit. And it's like, I'm just gonna sign for you to go to not hospice, but like close to. And then the cops are like, you still have a good detective mind because of his origin. Like, he watched the girl of his dreams just get murdered in their fucking closet, And now he's just like, well, fucking dying, and these fucking kids keep asking me questions about this fucking serial killer, and then they show you the fucking serial killer, and it's something out of like fucking that comic book Bedlam. Like, it's a fucking, like, they call him the Chatterer, so it's close to like fucking, the shit looks like Hellraiser,
Yeah.
And this is the guy. This is the guy that killed the chick that took his virginity, and he hasn't fucking solved it. And he's an old ass man, had a whole family, had a whole life. I would rather read a book about like fucking, call me a fucking pussy. I would have rather read like a Jane Eyre type of book about his life, ignoring that fucking murder and just creating the life he had with his kids, which, again, when you get far enough in the comic, it's like, yeah, he didn't give his kids a good life because he's got that shit in his fucking head about seeing the chick that took his virginity fucking butchered in a fucking closet when he went to propose to her. Like, it's this book, and it's fucking Scott Snyder, the dude that brought you absolute. I'm like, I messaged this motherfucker on Instagram today after I read it. I'm like, bitch. Like, we were drunk and you were spilling all the details about Absolute Batman to me. What the fuck? You couldn't tell me about this fucking book? Like, you couldn't prepare me for this motherfucking shit? Like, what the fuck, man? Like, I'm not ready for this shit. Like, yeah, I'm going for a colonoscopy on Monday. You think I want to hear about this dude and this story and him dying of fucking cancer? Like, what the fuck, man? Again, Larry, why the fuck did you bring this book up, man? I was reading it on my own. Man. Don't get me wrong. Why the fuck? I didn't want to talk about this on air. Like, I didn't want to have these feelings in front of a fucking microphone. I wanted to just let these feelings go down and cause the colon cancer they're probably going to find in me on Monday. What the fuck, Larry? Oh, just because you couldn't get the port it right? Like, what the fuck? What the fucking Larry? Fuck you, Larry.
I'm fucking old, man.
That is
You won't feel a thing.
Number one.
Just like Moses.
You won't feel a thing. Yeah.
Drawn by Jock.
About anal sex, where it's like, because when he talked about, meeting, the girl, the high school crush and everything, it was just like that with my high school crush. I told her, you're not gonna feel things. She said, she looked at my shit and said, no shit. So, all right, open closed book. There's a comedy book. The fuck, Larry? What the fuck you giving this book to me for, man?
The cancer took away his emotions too, right? That's the.
Oh, lucky him. Yeah. I've been my entire life. I've been trying to be comfortably numb. I can't do it. Luckily his cancer works that way. Guess mine ain't gonna be in my fucking brain. I'll tell you that.
Well, I won't get into it right now.
Drawn by Jock.
Say, Heck, what the fuck is your question, Heck? I'm running the show now. What the fuck is the question, Heck?
I was gonna say, how much chili do you eat?
I eat a lot of. I do eat a lot of hot peppers, but I haven't slowing down because I realize that the diarrhea that comes from it, where I think it's like, oh, it's helping me move my shit. It's actually inflaming my colon, so I've slowed down a lot. Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
But you haven't cut it out, right?
Not entirely, but because something you guys don't know, I was diagnosed diabetic last year, so I was taking medicine, and the medicine actually makes you constipated. So I was using my homegrown chilies from the yard whenever I needed. Like when the doctor asked me, "Are you regular?" I'm regular, yeah, because every Sunday I purge everything from the week, but from my own organic chilies, you know. But thanks to Trump, now my medicine went from $400 for 60 days to $700 a month. So I'm actually not on any medication anymore. Like I can't afford that. That shit costs more than my rent. That costs more than my business rent. So I'm just I'm either gonna live or I'm gonna die. Yeah.
I mean that's life.
That is life. So here we are. You're not gonna feel a thing.
Oz, did you read You Won't Feel a Thing?
Of course not. You piece of shit.
I read it. I read it.
Okay. So tell us, man. What were your thoughts on this book?
How am I gonna follow that?
I'm not even asking you to. I just want you to tell us what.
I'm just making a TikTok video now that there's a TikTok. Yeah.
It does a thing that I'm glad it does. I complain a lot about how books are written now, where like they kind of have to tell you everything, and this book kind of like doesn't really tell you anything.
No.
Like when we get to the old man, I thought, oh, this is another story. Why do you gotta listen to? Why is this old man talking about doors and all this? And then when he finally, this is how long it took me to realize what was happening. It was when they got to the friend. He's an old man, and they say his name. I was like, oh, that's the dude from. Oh, this is the. Oh, that's fucked up.
Yeah.
I thought that story ended when they were banging.
Mm-hmm.
And so I like how it was written because he doesn't just tell you everything up front. You kind of like just follow along at your own pace. Obviously, you guys got it way before I did. That was the same guy.
It's only been around like a month, right?
No, I mean like in the story.
Oh,
like, you guys realized right away that was just him, the kid as an old man.
Oh no, it took me a while. I'm a fucking idiot.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. All right. So yeah, and I like that. It doesn't like it's a great feeling.
I thought the story was about the nurse. Like the nurse was narrating at first.
I usually complain about how slow of a burn it is, but the trauma and the serial killer stuff like kind of keeps creeping in every page, like just a little bit, and then the occasional like when the kid asks the questions, like the rest of the page is a picture of the killer, and so they just pepper that in there just enough that it keeps you interested.
Yeah. No, I would definitely agree with you on that. Like, this is not a hand-holding book, and it definitely like lets its story kind of unfold.
And the way he was having like blackouts, I honestly, for at least 3/4 of the book, I thought, oh, he's the killer. He just doesn't know it. Like he blacked out, killed her, and he doesn't know it. But then you find out he was a detective for years and all that. Like they kind of like it still could be the case, but they kind of like do little things to kind of push you away from thinking that.
Right. Okay. Jay, how'd you feel about You Won't Feel a Thing?
I liked it.
I'm not sure I believe you, Joe.
I had a little trouble reading it.
Okay.
The print was really small. But aside from that,
did you read it digitally?
Yes.
Yeah. It's a hard book to read digitally, like especially how Distillery like prints everything in prestige format. Like this is definitely the first time I feel like I wouldn't buy this digitally. I would read it like handheld, like physical.
Right.
Yeah.
So that was
it's harder on you because you do digital. Yeah.
Right.
It doesn't allow you to zoom.
I would have to figure out how.
It's not so much about that. It's just not formatted for digital. Like when, because Jock is doing the art, and Jock is he's one of my people. He smokes a lot of weed and then paints every panel like on a canvas, like big, and then they have to figure out how to put it into comic book format, So his books are, and I've had that issue with the Black Label stuff, and whenever he does something like reading digitally, it's hard. Like they have to fit the word bubbles around his art, but he draws it a certain way, and he'll read the script. I'm speaking for him. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Jock, tell me to go fuck myself if you're listening. But I feel like he just literally just reads the script and then draws it all out, and then they put in the words on top of his art,
So. Okay. But so it was difficult to read, Jay. But I mean, you got through it. What was your impression of it? Like, say, think about like upon finishing it. What was your thought?
Oh, this killer interests me. Yeah. Like, I could definitely see myself
killing.
No, I can see myself wanting further issues of the book to be better read digitally.
Gotcha.
So I could keep reading it and it not be so hard. Like, it's a little disappointing.
Yeah. Okay. No, I mean, so like the formatting of the book is the issue, not the content. The content.
No, I like the content. I like the murder mystery. I have heard people say that he probably is the killer.
Yeah. It's the detail of the serial killer, like taking a tooth, like just one, from the victims is really eerie. Something about that, just like
and then makes it a chain,
right?
And in his mask,
yeah. And then they like you can hear them like knock together. I'm like, ugh, like.
And so that's
like
another question, like because this is it's a comic book, so you don't get the effect, but they did still have like jump scares in it, like in comic book format. It didn't affect me like how a film would, because I'm used to it, But
right,
like, someone like you, Larry, or Jay, I know you definitely like you look out for stuff like that, or that sticks out to you too as a horror fan as well. So how'd you think of like when they did the jump scares? Like how'd you feel, Larry?
Like, I mean, they damn near worked.
The little boy that turned into a goat thing. Like,
right, exactly.
Yeah.
The whole like reason, like the comic forum is pretty much the only place I can really do horror. And they're getting better at this, definitely, to the point where I'm like, maybe I can't do horror in comics either. But yeah, like it was crazy. And like I'm like, again, the way that they described it in regards to the tooth, like the teeth aspect, like I could hear the teeth, like I could hear the teeth from on the mask, like hitting against each other, like, and I'm just like, that is creepy as hell. And I'm just like, okay, like they did the job right, because if I'm reading a book and can hear it, like that's a very well described thing, you know what I'm saying? And it's not even like, that's the thing, like sometimes it's like, okay, like, you have like the onomatopoeia in comics, right? Like sometimes you'll see like things like slice, or you'll see like, and of course you have like the classic joints of like, like Spider-Man's web.
Yeah,
they have like the thwip, or you have
Yeah.
Wolverine's claws that have that snake. But this didn't do any of that.
Yeah.
This book didn't have any of that. All it was just the description of what was happening and a visual, and I was like, it did enough where I'm like, okay, I can, I when I saw the mask, I could hear the teeth. And so I'm just like, yeah, that's wild.
And then you close the book. I'm out.
Right, exactly. You're just like, yeah, you know what? Let me.
How about you, Jay?
Day.
Like, I know you pay attention to those things a little bit. How did it affect you?
That's the thing. Jump scares only work if you have to have a certain amount of investment in what you're reading, watching, and not be distracted by how hard it is to read.
Okay. So it didn't work for you. Like,
the jump scares did not work for me.
And I know you're a dude, like, I mean, you've read like Stephen King prose, like with no pictures, and there's jump scares in the prose. And I know you've been affected by like you've experienced jump scares in prose. That's why I really wanted to ask you. I talked to Larry just for fan service, but I wanted to see how you had it, because if it was a hard, like, in the way that the medium was expressed to you, was it wasn't as easy to enjoy it. Like, the jump scare probably didn't work for you. Like, it probably wouldn't work in print, like if you're reading it an actual physical copy. So
or like an old school iPad.
No, it's not even an iPad issue, because I read it on an iPad and I read it physically. It's not formatted like. Damn it! I still have to do that video.
It's not the formatting.
There's comics that are formatted for iPad, and they're not. And then with Distillery, it's like they just print them a certain way. And then Jock is a type of artist that he'll just, like, I wouldn't be surprised if he just drew this whole comic as a big painting on his wall, and then they just took pictures of it and made it sequential, because that's the type of dude he is, So I can see, like, that's where the art, where we were talking about the art for Batman earlier, like, and then even the concepts of like this older dude from the past, like learning and trying to solve something, like they kind of connect in a little bit. And even in the art, they're like, it's just different ways of doing that similar story in art, the way you express it, the art. And so I was like, you're not a horror dude at all, but how did you feel with the little bit of what would have been, I think for you, maybe an attempted jump scare? You probably didn't feel anything, but how did you feel? Like,
there were parts that were like disturbing, like when they show the killer.
Yeah,
it's like an innocent kid in one panel, and then the rest of the page is the killer. Stuff like that. I was like, oh. Or when they show the body, it's like, oh. I think if, like you said, it should have been formatted for digital, because if you're just reading like panel by panel and then like the goat shows up, like that probably would have got me a little bit like, oh shit, what the hell?
Yeah. The way I read it in digital, it was like almost a strip. So they gave me both pages at once. And that's not how other books have been from Distillery, but it definitely, like, even I had to, when I turned it sideways to fit the actual size of it, I already saw what's happening, so it took away the jump scares itself. It didn't take away from me, but other parts of it, like the way the panels flow, it's like, okay. So yeah, it's definitely, I don't know. It's hard to tell them what to do because they give their creators so much freedom at the Distillery. So it's like, I think it might be physical, might be the way to go with at least this one. I know other books have been better physically than digital too, like the brothers, the sister's brother's mother is one of those books. Yeah, but it just feels better physically. Yeah, and because it's all painted like oil painting. Yeah. So you see what they want you to see every time you flip a page. Yeah.
Though I will say this. Oh, go ahead, Jay.
real quick before I go, because I have to go. I wanted to rate this book at 3.
Okay.
Enjoyable, but also like the story and stuff and the art is enjoyable. The formatting is not so much.
Did you buy the digital version from like Kindle or anything, or
No,
was
it's not on Kindle.
Okay, so it's like a press thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think that's part of the problem too. I think if they would have made a digital market version, you probably would have had a better experience. But
Yeah. We'll have to get on them about that.
Jay, before you go, give us a final thought, buddy.
Oh, I got none.
Okay. Hey, fair. Appreciate you, friend. There it is. So, and I mean, I know we did talk about it, or we've talked about it some in regard, or a fair amount in regards to Jock's art. But yeah, like it's visceral, man.
yeah,
It is visceral.
the covers are crazy too. Where it's like, I was showing Emily like all the different covers, and it's like they're all misleading, kinda. Yeah, like they're all suggestive of what it is. So, but I'm like, even the censored covers, like that, they're censoring something that isn't really, like the Tula Take cover, you know, like. And then they had a white cover, and I'm like, why my comic shop didn't have that? Like, yeah, like because that's, I mean, I'll buy a white cover, especially if I'm buying physical. I'm buying the white cover, you know. But yeah, definitely seeing everybody's take on the cover, even before reading it, I was like, man, like it is. What's this going to be about? You know? It's a really great book, and I don't want to say it like it's going to sound worse, but I could see like why Absolute Batman isn't better than Absolute Wonder Woman. Yeah, because this book is where he's really shooting his good load. Yeah. And I've only read one of these. Yeah.
Jay Lee did a cover.
Yeah, Jay Lee's cover is fucking crazy. And after reading it, when you see Jay Lee's cover, it's like, man, like that's a great fucking cover. Like seeing all the covers beforehand and then reading the story and then seeing all the covers after again, it changes your experience of seeing all the covers. Like it's so crazy. Yeah. And very few books ever achieve that. Like it's almost like a Stephen King book, you know? Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Like I just noticed she's bleeding. She's bleeding out of her eyes.
Yeah.
The other part too about this book is like even having, like having read it, like I definitely got to the end and was like, I would like to read the next issue. But I have no idea what's going to happen like next. Like I don't know like necessarily what issue 2 has in store, and that's like a feeling that I'm not used to with comics, you know.
Like it could literally be like he died and then somebody read his journals, like the little kid became the investigator like 20 years after the first issue, you know, like
who knows, man.
It can go that way. Like it could. Especially how they the emphasis on these like true crime podcasts and all these things that I don't really like. Yeah, so it's like it's not for any reason other than the romanticization of this violence. Like it's fine when these guys are violent, like you can enjoy it, but then I get a little crazy. It's like, oh shit, this guy's a problem.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's because nobody's making a podcast about you.
Not yet.
Yeah, there you go.
And that's the thing. I don't want to aspire to that either. But it's like, man, that could be my legacy. Yeah.
Right.
And I don't like that.
All right. Anything else anybody want to say about it before we do some ratings? Okay. Let's go to you, Oz Core. You won't feel a thing. Number 1. What would you rate? What would you rate?
I'm probably gonna go with 5. Like I'm trying to find something that I don't like about it, but it's a talented writer, talented artist.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest issue is digital formatting.
Yeah,
I don't think the jump scares work. And Mo, talked about it. It's like he got 2 pages at once, so he saw the jump scare like before he even gets to that page.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still kind of to me personally anyway, the parts that were jump scares still kind of had like an emotional impact because of the suddenness of it. You go from talking to like a little baby to the goat thing,
right?
It's like it messes with your head either way,
right?
So I think they did a decent enough job. So yeah, I'm just gonna go with 5.
Okay. Moses Magnum, how about you?
It's just a 5, man. Like, and the question I had earlier with the Batman book was like, is this what somebody you would give for somebody for their first comic?
Mm-hmm.
This is all for me. Like, I want to share this with it. I would love to, but you might fuck somebody's brain up if they read this book, which is like the sign of a good book. That's why they want to burn them. But yeah, this is it's a 5 out of 5, man.
Yeah. I mean, it's a great book as well. I think it's interesting because I'm sitting here like, I don't know if I want to rate it a 5, but that very well might just
bitch.
What I was gonna say is it's because I'm a little bitch. No. I mean, but honestly, it is like a thing where I'm like, it might just not, just not necessarily be my preferred genre, and that's all. But
even the way they use that medium within that genre, like how they express it to you, it's like the shit's like Silence of the Lambs, but like better.
Yeah. But I think it's just that's just me being like a little creeped out.
Yeah.
So it's a 5, and that because it's like like again, I heard the teeth.
So you're not a little bitch. Yeah.
I heard the teeth. So I'm like, look, it's obviously doing something right. So anyway, okay. And heck, what would you rate the review, friend?
I give the review a 5.
We'll take it.
I want to read the comic.
There it is. All right. Cool.
You want to do some news or you want to get out of here?
Dude, we can do a little bit. Like let's hold on. Do I need to hit the music?
Yeah.
Hold on. Where
so that Superman was weird, right?
What?
Wait, which Superman?
The trailer, the TV spot that they showed.
That 30 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, all I saw was him flying. I didn't see it. I didn't actually see the TV spot.
I seen a bunch of people bitching about the flying, and I'm like, what?
I looked up and I was like, hey, Jim from The Office.
I didn't even see it.
Yeah, I and my thing, Larry, hit the music, man.
Oh, okay.
But not like that. No.
Just like that. That's it. Oh, damn it. Where's the...
You want me to do
it?
Hold on. Here it is.
That actually.
Comic book news. We should have a current.
So weird.
Well, not like that, but like.
All right.
See, exactly the same thing I did.
So that's Superman. What happened? There was a Superman spot. What?
A TV commercial like during one of the games. Was it during the football games? Right? Like, yeah.
You'll believe Jim Halpert will fly.
Yeah, they do that thing where the Batman did this thing, and I hated it then too, where it's that camera that's like mounted to his head, so his head is like in one spot, but the rest of his body all around is like going back and forth, and he's just like looking directly at the camera, and it just looks so weird. And then if you actually look at it, he gets like his eyes like do this.
Yeah, I saw that.
They do what?
They split.
Yeah.
He's got a wonky eye.
Superman's cross-eyed?
No, he's cockeyed.
He's cockeyed?
Yeah, but two cocks. So he takes two cocks to the eyes.
Two
Yeah.
cocks?
It's like it's only one when you're like it's cockeyed with one, but he's cockeyed with both. But again, I didn't even see the spot. I just saw like because
are they memeing it?
Well, there's a thing called Threads. I don't know if you ever heard of it.
Yeah, we know what Threads is.
I don't. I mean, I have a Threads account. The only thing I ever did was talk shit to James Gunn for doing Superman, and people have been shitting on me since, like, on there. Like, if I open up the app, I got like alerts of people. You fucking faggot! Like, you probably cried about Christopher Reeves too, right? So it's like, I'm like, no, I read comics. Like, I just want like my experience. The comics I like that James Gunn worked on in movies didn't work out like from the comics I like, so I don't want him touching Superman. Like, yeah, if I can't trust him to do fucking Rocket Raccoon or Ego the Living Planet, how am I gonna trust him to do the first and the greatest? You know what I mean?
Come to Blue Sky. They're not that bad.
Again, I'm not. You know what? I'm an old fuck. Like, I'm just like, I'm not gonna do any. I mean, there's a Blue Sky for Fantastic Forum. We might be posting shit. I don't know. I'm tired of running social media for us. So, and I told these motherfuckers to do it like a year ago, and none of them are doing it. So I'm still stuck doing it. But yeah, it's like I we have there's a platform for us everywhere. But and so when I saw this, I'm like, well, what am I gonna say? Like, I'm just gonna get called a faggot again? Like, so I just didn't even react. I didn't even bother watching it. I'm like, just show me the fucking movie. Like, if the movie's good, I'll take it. Like, I'm not trying to see no trailers anymore. Like, I don't need foreplay. I'm already hard for it. Like, I'm ready to fuck. Yeah. So it's like, I don't need foreplay. I'm a fucking man. You know,
that's Batman with that girl in the comic.
You're gonna fuck a man?
Yeah, I'm a fucking man. Like, I don't need foreplay. I'm hard already. Like, I don't need to see a trailer. Like, that's I still have. We talked about the Daredevil trailer last week. Look, the little kid's neck just got broke. You know. Yeah, like, this is the first time I've seen it, man. That's fucked. You got a kaiju here, like. Yeah. I mean, look, is this a TV spot or is this a trailer? Oh, this is
a TV spot.
Yeah. I mean, it all looks good, but it's like, what's the story? Like, trailer's not telling me anything of the story. Yeah, so. But and again, I don't need. Right? I love Superman. No, I love Superman. I want to see it already. Just like beam it into my fucking brain. I'll get Neuralink or whatever the fuck. Yeah. It makes you.
Blue Sky.
No, it's the thing where it accidentally makes you go. Yeah, I'll take that chip. I don't give a fuck.
That Elon Musk chip.
Yeah, whatever. It's helping a lot of people with Parkinson's, but all of a sudden they just do that. But it's okay. Apparently, everybody loves that. It's okay. It's a Roman salute.
Oh, because it's part autism.
Yeah. He's
part of autism.
Yeah, it's like I miss calling him a retard. He's just a retard. That's all. We can say retard now, right?
I don't think
so.
Larry,
not yet. I do need your permission, Larry, because I've been calling him the N-word because he's from Africa. No. Can I call him effing N-word? Like,
no.
Okay. Then it explains why the people at the restaurant were looking at me. I'm like, we can say that now because Trump's in office.
Well, that's his favorite African American, right?
Right, 100%. Yeah, that's the only one he likes. Yeah, the one he says some of my best friends are African American, it means Elon Musk.
Elon Musk. Oh, jeez. Yeah. Okay,
that's why Joe left.
Right, exactly. Joe's like, no.
Joe would let you use the N-word too,
dude. Joe loves it when I do it, but I only do it on his birthday.
Are we canceled now?
100%.
No, we haven't actually said it.
Yeah, you can't. Well, you can't cancel anybody in Trump's America.
There's
Oh,
a reason
okay,
why
good.
we haven't interviewed.
Unless you're a
Jay's-
Jew or a Mexican.
Fuck!
There's a reason why we haven't interviewed Jay's brother, man. Like every other word is the N word out of that guy.
He's also dead. R.I.P.
R.I.P.
Oh, my bad.
Damn, Oz.
No, I didn't know. Like I met the man like years ago. I didn't know.
Yeah.
Damn.
He's a cool dude.
Yeah. I still
Yeah.
have his Overwatch videos on my feed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh,
R.I.P.
that's
dude.
Oh, no.
I love that dude.
Now I'm sad. And I feel like I should use the N word in his honor.
You should,
Go ahead,
you should
brother.
not do that. Like 100% don't do that. Oh my god.
Get that post-mortem pass.
Give the old Roman
Good
salute.
thing we edited the show after.
Right. Oh god. Okay.
But Larry, you
So-
got some news? We were vamping, hoping that you had a news story.
Well, I don't look. I don't
All right,
even
back
know
to
if I
the
wanna-
N word.
I don't know. I don't know. if I wanna talk
Speaking
about
of the
this now.
N word, so
Right.
Captain America, right? You're gonna
That's what I was gonna say. I was literally about to talk because like the Anthony Mackie did the interview, right? And
Yeah.
cats are acting like he's anti-American.
I get what
Because-
he was trying to say. I just don't think he said it right.
Yeah. And look, and
I get the sentiment though. Yeah.
I mean, I read fucking comics. They hated when he was Captain America in the comics too. So
Right.
it's par for the course. Like,
right,
If
exactly.
you would have
And
read
that's,
comics, you would have known what to say.
and that's the whole thing where now,
Yeah.
I do agree that maybe they like the point he was making maybe wasn't articulated I mean perfectly. I mean it wasn't, but here's the thing, it's not like he like if you want to hear him,
What did he actually
you could
say?
understand what he was saying because
Yeah.
I think the big takeaway was that he basically said that what Captain America represents isn't actually like America. What he represents and he went into a list of ideals and traits, like about like what Captain America represents, talking about things like freedom and justice and whatnot. And so,
Right.
the
The soundbite is he said Captain America doesn't represent America or isn't
Right.
America or shouldn't or something like that.
Yeah.
But no, I get what
But-
he was saying. Like it should be it's the ideal of America that we work to get to.
Yeah.
Like I get
the
that.
aspirational America.
If
not
you
the
read
actual America.
fucking comics, like
Right.
white Captain America said the same thing to like the president.
100%.
Yeah, so it's like
100%.
and people would rather have him Hydra than have a black dude say that.
Yeah, but people make more money talking shit about stuff like that. Like you take that soundbite and you'll put it on YouTube and fucking make a ton of money just talking
Yeah.
crap.
Get that
Well, we-
YouTube plaque just from that.
It's
Yeah,
crazy.
and, look,
man.
Oz,
Anthony,
make us
Anthony
money.
Mackie is
Oz,
like
make us money.
Huh?
Make
No.
us money with the soundbite.
look, there's enough on me out there.
But you were gonna say Anthony Mackie what now?
He doesn't say controversial stuff like that. That's why I give him the benefit of the doubt that it just came out wrong. Like I get what he was trying to say. It just came out wrong that one time. It's not like he's out there, lecturing people all the time or shit like that. He seems like a cool dude.
Mhm.
What are the
I-
odds? What are the odds that he was trying to quote the comic book? And,
Zero.
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 Yeah. Listen.
I think it's more
Right.
likely he was partying the night before and was just fucking like a little hungover and
saw a weird
Well-
executive order and got angry.
But
No, he was just talking, out the top of his head, and it just came out. Like we've all said stuff that came out wrong. It just
but
happened.
that's the thing. Like it doesn't. Like I don't want to mess around and make it seem as though he said it like so wrong because it doesn't. It doesn't sound wrong.
I
so
say
much.
wrong. I say he could have said it better. Like he didn't explain
Yeah.
himself right.
Yeah. I mean, he could have definitely went into more detail. I agree with
He
you.
said
And I think-
He said it in a way that people could use it against him.
Yeah, and that's
Which
but
they
that's the thing.
have.
Right, they have, but that's the thing is like that's because that's what they want. which is it, and it's so funny that the contrast of people listening to what he had to say about who Captain America is and what it represents, and it's like for particular people to see that and feel like, oh, see, look, this guy doesn't get it and doesn't think Captain America even represents America, and based on what he said, that's how they feel. And it's like those are the same people that like legit look at what Elon Musk did and were like, well, I'm not sure if that's actually a Nazi salute. And it's like, it's really wild that those are the same kind of people where it's like, I mean, is it more likely? Which one is more likely to be like on the nose? Or like, which one is more likely to be like open for interpretation? And I'm just like, oh well, it's. I mean, really
Elon Musk
weird.
did go to alt-right rally in Germany. That's like the newer Nazi party.
I mean, that could be
the only
so.
reason the salute wasn't a Nazi salute is because he didn't know how to do it right. Because the attempt was there, and if you listen to the video, when he tries to put it out, like who makes that sound when they're putting up their hands? Like he's trying to fuck up whatever.
Yeah.
Again, Larry, permission to use the N-word. I want to see that nigga's green card.
No, absolutely not. No,
didn't even get the pass.
No,
you got to say fast. Yeah,
It was
no. Look, don't say it at all. Goddamn. Look, okay, it's time to go.
All right, we're on timeout now.
Yeah.
There it is.
I remember a day when
canceled
Mexicans had permission to use it.
I remember.
Man. No, look,
I grew up hood, so
look, we could tell from the way you said that. I grew up hood. No,
he did the half Roman salute.
But see, he didn't make the sound. That's how you know.
All right. El Hecht, give me some final thoughts.
Yeah, so blue sky's the place to be. Unless you're a neo-Nazi, then you can, I don't know, die in a fire or something.
Okay.
Too
controversial.
So, it's Captain America on Valentine's Day. It's a perfect day to release that movie. It's Valentine's Day, and I can't wait. I can't wait to go in the theater with my wife and walk in a different direction than whatever the hell she wants to watch.
But that's every time you go to the movies.
I know, but it's extra. Like it stings a little more because it's Valentine's Day.
Well, she does like a big.
I'm supposed
throbbing,
to watch whatever crap
she does love a big the big red throbbing character, right? And
man,
you're gonna get that in Captain America: Brave New World.
Go Thursday night, Oz. Nah. He's like, nah. Like, okay. Or yeah, it is Thursday. Yeah, it's Thursday night. Anyway, Most Magnum, final thought.
I'm scared to say final thoughts because it might be my final thoughts ever. So I'm just gonna leave you with nothing, like I will everybody that's ever depended on.
Yeah.
Oh, gee. Okay. Yeah, man. Well, what I will say is thank you all for hanging out with us. We do appreciate you. We always appreciate your support. We'll be back next week with we're going to talk about some Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man on Disney Plus. So if you want to join in that conversation, feel free to watch that. We'll be talking about it next week. If there's something else you want us to talk about, you should just let us know, because we'll be around and we will be here. But with that said, we are the Fantastic Forum. Thank you so much and good night.